Hello, James here, and here's my HD2 running Windows Phone 7. And a lot of people have noticed, well, people that have a Windows Phone 7, they've noticed that I have a black background, and Windows Phone 7 doesn't normally come with a black background, and there are none, if any, applications to customize your themes in this way. So I'm just going to show you quickly how this was done. The first thing you need is a registry editor or some way to edit the registry or import registry settings. In my case, I used the Homebrew registry editor. Homebrew registry editor for Windows 7. Just Google that. And probably the first 10 links will show you exactly how to do that. My phone has installed the registry editor, so I'm going to go straight into there. Now, in the registry editor, if you're familiar with the registry, it looks a lot like any other Windows device, not just a Windows Phone. If you're not, you might want to read up about it, because do this at your own risk. If you make the wrong change and it messes up your phone may not even boot up. So in any case, I'm going to the local machine, the H key local machine, and to the control panel. In the control panel, there's a key called Themes. In Themes, there's by default two themes. There's a light theme and a dark theme, and these contain all the settings in the files necessary to produce the colors on your screen for those themes. Now, I'm going to take a quick look under the one called number 1 here and show you some of the keys briefly. If you look, you'll see little settings for things like button background, disabled, button background pressed, all the different states of buttons basically. If I scroll down just a bit, we'll actually see the display name. The display name of this theme is dark, so this is the black theme or dark background theme. Now if we scroll down some more, we'll actually start to see things like these hexadecimal numbers. In this case it says FF, FF0000, things like that. These are actually codes for colors. If you're not familiar with that, then just keep watching and you'll sort of catch on. I'm going to scroll up to the Accents folder. The Accents folder has a series of settings that are basically numbered. Now, what are accents? Well, let's back up a little bit here. Back up again. You'll see a folder called Accents Display Name. The accents are the same for the dark or the light theme, so therefore it has its own separate folder. Now if you look in here, the accents are numbered and they also have color names next to them. For example, green, magenta, orange. Now let me go out of the registry editor just briefly to show you what the accent actually means. In the settings, under theme, we have a choice of the dark or light, which is what the two themes were we saw in the registry, and there's accent color. The accents, let me choose teal as an example. The accents are basically the colors of all the blocks in the main part of your screen here, and all the backgrounds for the general icons. Now, here we have the accents display again in the registry, and we see that teal is number 8. I'm not sure if you can see that clearly, but right there it's teal. Now, as an example of what we can do, I'm going to go into number 8, and I'm going to actually change it to something else. Well, let's just say this, just as an example, so you can see what happens. I'm going to call it Teal 2. I'm not actually going to change the color, I'm just changing the name so that it's called Teal 2. Now let's go back out into the settings and see how that registry change affects my theme. You can see here now it's not called teal anymore, it's called teal 2. So as you can see, the registry in this case affected the settings on the phone immediately. Now let's go back to the registry editor and see if we can actually now not only change the name of the color, but actually change the color. So teal 2 was actually number 8. Let's take a look at the dark theme under the accents folder in the dark theme. And let's scroll down to number 8. Number 8 has assigned a number. Now this is the tricky part. If you look here, number 8 is assigned a hexadecimal code and a decimal number. These two equate to each other. Now here's where the hexadecimal part gets a little tricky. If you have an application that does colors like Photoshop or some other application, you might be able to get the hexadecimal code. However, here in the phone, you can't enter the hexadecimal code. You have to enter the number. So we would need to convert the hexadecimal code to the number. Let's see how to do that. So I'm going to choose a color from this color picker. As an example, let's go find some kind of, I don't know, well, we're calling it teal 2, so let's go find some kind of blue looking kind of, well, how about right there, kind of a bluish gray kind of color. And the hexadecimal code here is 6070B5. So we take out our scientific calculator, and under hex, clicking hex, we'll type in F, and then type in our number, which is 6070B5. So you see those two F's in the beginning. That wasn't there in the original code, but it is required in the Windows Phone. And we'll change that to decimal. And we have this long number now. 428-451-0389. That's the number we would need to replace this with. Now this is the code for teal. And we're going to replace that. So let's type it in. 42845 4284 oops 45 4245 10389 10389. So we've just replaced the code for teal with this kind of bluish gray color. Let's click OK to that. The number's in there. Let's go back out. It's still teal. Let's go into the settings, and under theme, make sure we select something else besides teal 2. Switch it back to teal 2 to make it take effect. And now we have this sort of kind of dark, not dark, but kind of bluish gray instead of teal. Now I don't know if it shows up quite well in the video. I mean, if you don't think about it, you might still think it's teal. So let me just randomly pick a different number just so you can see the dramatic change instead of going to convert another number. I'm going to the registry editor and choosing number 8, which was our teal. I'm just going to randomly change the last numbers to 00, which should affect the bluish portion of the color. Let's go back out. It's still under the heading teal 2, however. So let's switch to light, switch to dark, switch to something other than teal 2, switch back to teal 2. And now look, we've gotten rid of all the blue by adding the 2 zeros at the end of that color code, and now all the tiles are gray. Now that's just the accent color. Because we have access to the registry editor, we may be able to edit other colors. I myself haven't found everything I can edit, but there's the basic theme color here, which is basically dark, all zeros. Oops, my registry editor is a little stuck here. Let's go back in there. And see, there's other things like chrome color, contrast color. You can tweak these colors by setting them to something else and see how they affect your screen. I'd be careful though, because one thing you don't want to do is accidentally set your text to one color and your background to the same color, thereby making it impossible to see anything on your screen. So always be careful when you look at this or do this. So I'm just going to stick with the color that I had, which actually I kind of like this gray color. This gray color is also not something that comes with Windows Phone 7. Oh, I think I'll keep that one as a setting. But for myself, for battery savings, I actually like the black theme. There's less pixels turned on. I've been finding my battery seems to last just a little bit longer. Alright, and there you go. That's how you would change the colors.